All right, let's move to the Senate matchup meter here. You guys know the rules. 1 minute
Yep.
total for these 9 races. We're going to start with Dan this time instead of Sean. Okay, I'm
Oh.
pulling up my map too. Okay, we're just going to jump right into
Closest to
Alaska.
the pin wins. Wait, hold on, Dave.
Dan
Yeah.
Sullivan, incumbent, versus Mary Patola. Go ahead.
Still feel good. I have it at -1. Another poll came out. Mary Patola leads. Dan Sullivan, the Canada stuff is really not good for him. I still feel good about this one.
Yeah, I kept this at a +1. You've got a top of the ticket, a gubernatorial race that is largely a runaway. The House race is the same, so it's going to be hard to see how people break away. The one thing that's going to be weird on this ranked choice voting is going to make this really, really hard. And this could be what saves Dan Sullivan or hurts him. I can't figure it out. But the other Dan Sullivan on the ballot so far still is on there, and this is going to be a problem.
All right, that keeps us at 0, a toss-up state. All right, let's go to Georgia. Last time around, we had a D1, John Ossoff, incumbent, versus Mike Collins. Dan, go ahead.
I mean, I think unless there's a big bomb about to drop on John Ossoff, I think Republicans cancel their ad buys by the end of September for the month of October in Georgia. I'm moving this to a -4.
Sean, wishful thinking?
I obviously I wouldn't go that far at all, but I will
Yeah.
say that I've had this as a pure toss-up for a while because Mike Collins had to go through a bruising primary and then a runoff, so he came out without a lot of money. Haven't seen a lot of the cavalry come to his rescue. Ossoff, by some estimations, is close to $70 million in the bank. Collins, just a couple million. I'm downgrading this to a -1. Republicans need to show that they're willing to fight for it, or it's gone.
Oh, there we go. That averages out to
Who would have thought
2.5.
in
Wow.
January of 25 we would have Georgia as almost off the board for Democrats? That's amazing.
Yeah, truly fascinating. Okay, let's go to Iowa. Ashley Hinson, Republican, versus Josh Turek, the Democrat. Last time around, we had it at Republican 0.5. Sean, or Dan, go ahead. Dan.
I'm keeping this at 0. I almost moved it to -1. I think the only thing saving Ashley Hinson, the entire GOP is utterly freaked out about this entire state across the board, governor, Senate, and multiple House races. The amount of money that's going to be, this may see the most money of any state in the country.
Sean?
Yeah, I've had this at a +1. I'm keeping it as a +1 because it's in cheap date. Republicans are going to come in, swamp this thing, and remind people that they're Republicans. The trade stuff's not helping. The beef stuff's not helping. And you got a problem on the governor's
War's
side.
not helping.
The governor's race is a problem, but I'm telling you, we're going to pull this one out. It may not be pretty. Ashley's running a great campaign. She's a strong candidate, great record. But this is going to, when we pour the money into the state, it's going to go back to closer to where it should be. I'd watch the top of the ticket there at the gubernatorial race, but this stays at +1.
I think Sean just had
that money now.
Sean had too many other races that he's moving. Stay tuned. So that's why this stayed.
All right, that remains at Republican 0.5. Let's go to Maine next. Troy Jackson, the Democrat, challenging Susan Collins, the incumbent. Last time we had R 0.5. Go ahead, Dan.
I'm moving this from a 0 to a -1. I think Troy Jackson, look, the conversation right now is still in Maine about Donald Trump and about Susan Collins. There is no conversation anymore about Troy Jackson. As long as this is about Collins and Trump, Jackson's going to win.
Good point. Sean?
Yeah, I moved this down to a pure toss-up. We haven't seen a glove laid on Troy Jackson. A couple initial stories came out saying he threw a water bottle or something. If that's what you got, boys, we're in trouble. The USMCA Canada trade issue is not good for Collins. I haven't seen anything positive. If Dan's right, if this defaults to just a generic thing, she's in trouble. But this will be whether she can get that turnout machine going. I'm increasingly concerned about Maine. I still think she might pull it out, but for right now, I'm calling this a pure toss-up.
Sean, do Jackson and Collins debate or no? If I'm Jackson,
no,
I agree.
No, they're not going. She's not going to.
No.
That puts us that goes from R.5 where we started to D.5. So there you go. There's a flip. All right, let's go up to Michigan. Abdul El-Sayed versus Mike Rogers, a Republican. Last time we had it, a Republican won. Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it at a 0. I want to see a little more evidence. Look, this is tight. I think Abdul El-Sayed, if it's today, wins by 1.5. The top of the ticket, the governor, the Dems running away. I think Abdul El-Sayed may pull it out. And I will note, he has said now publicly yesterday he does not plan to campaign with Hassan Piker. He is
that's so rich.
That's right.
Yeah, he did say that. Mm-hmm.
That's right. He's inching away. Yep.
Wow. Profile and courage, baby. 69
Right.
days out. He says, I can't campaign with a guy who said America deserves 9/11. Look, this is the first time I've ever moved a race 2 notches, but this is not in the right direction. I'm taking this down to a pure toss-up. There has been nothing that showed that they can make people like the El Sayed. Rogers should be up. He's not. This is a problem. He has been largely silent. He's not getting the MAGA base fired up about him. This is a pure toss-up. I hate to say this, but I kind of agree with Dan on this. Right now, if the election were held today, I think Al Sayed pulls it out.
Wow, another big move from Republican, 1 in Michigan, 2-0, pure toss-up. Okay, let's go to New Hampshire, Chris Pappas versus John Sununu, the Republican. Last time we had D1.5. Dan, go ahead.
All right, I'm keeping it at -3, even though I moved us up to -4. The one thing that just makes me nervous about this is Sununu's still a good politician.
Yeah.
And this is a race where I do wonder if it will tighten a little bit in the next, month, and there's a little bit of Dem money that has to go up there. So keeping it at -3 because it's such a good Democratic year, but
Sean?
Curious.
I for similar reasons, I'm keeping this as a pure toss-up. I think Sununu's got a name, a great candidate. As I've said before, New Hampshire is a game day voting state. There's not a lot of early votes, so who can actually build a good machine, get them to turn out? Anyway, I got this as a pure toss-up. I'm keeping it there for that reason until I see other evidence.
All right, it remains D1.5 where it has been for like the past 2 months or something that we've been doing this segment. All right, let's go to North Carolina. Roy Cooper, Democrat versus Michael Whatley. Last time around we had it D1.5. Dan, go ahead.
I moved it to -4. This is another one. I think the ad buy gets canceled the end of September for October on the GOP side. Roy Cooper, who would have thought this one too, that this would be off the board by this point for Republicans in the Dem column.
Sean?
I've had this as a pure toss-up for a while. I'm not as going as extreme as Dan, but I do think it goes down to it. It's definitely a lean Dem right now. The cavalry has not come through for Whatley. He got in this race because he was, told that we're going to have your back. We are now 69 days out. There's no money flowing into North Carolina in a substantial way. I still think it's not off the board by any means, but somebody needs to show that they're willing to spend money, get some votes out, whether it's an issue group, MAGA Inc., the RNC. Someone needs to come to Whatley's rescue and put a glove on Roy Cooper, because right now, no one's talking about issues that are going to make people move away from him. I got it as a -1.
That puts us at D2.5.
1.5, yep, 1.5. Oh, there's 2.5.
We were D1.5, now we're D2.5. Big movement for Democrats. That Michael Whatley is working the phones right now, asking for some money. Okay, let's go to Ohio. We had it at toss-up last time. Sherrod Brown versus John Husted, the incumbent. Dan, go ahead.
I'm keeping it at -1. I almost moved this to -2. Democrats are getting more and more bullish that Sherrod is kind of inching away from that 1 or 2 point lead to a little bit bigger. If Iowa sees the most money, Ohio may see, this Senate race may see the second most amount.
Sean?
Yeah, I've had this as an R+1. I still think we pull this thing out. I'm getting concerned about the top of the ticket. The Ramaswamy campaign is nowhere to be found. I do think because J.D. Vance cares about being an Ohio guy, he's going to get there. There's going to be some money poured in. The Republicans are not going to get the slide away. Sherrod Brown's got a lot of baggage on him because of votes he's taken in the past. We pull it out, it's going to be close. I'm keeping this as a +1.
Sean, who's in Ohio more in the fall, Vance or Trump?
Vance.
Both. I mean,
you think both are there a lot? Okay.
Enough.
Okay.
All right, let's go to Texas. Last time around, we had it Republican 0.5, James Talrico, Democrat versus Ken Paxton. Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, I moved this from a +1 to a 0 I'm still there. I am just really surprised. Ken Paxton cannot move the needle. Republicans are so disgusted or are frustrated by him that tells me something, that they see the same data Democrats do. I think, Sean, you've said this off air here. I think Democrats are going to rush money in the last month.
They have to. That's the only way you do this. You do a sneak attack and try to do this. I've kept this as a +1 for those reasons. Presidents down there today, they understand how important this thing is. I talked to some very, very senior Republicans down in Texas. They're worried about this. They're worried about the Senate race. But they will come together at the end and pull this out. It is not going to be pretty. It's not going to be cheap, but we pull this out.
All right, let's pull it back.
And by the way, I keep seeing some of the notes in the chat where people are saying, oh, the RNC is going to come in. When? We're 6 days out.
It's like September.
Guys, this is not. We're getting to the point where the die is cast, and this is the hard part of turning the ship.
Yeah. So last week we had Republicans at 51 seats, Democrats at 47, and 2 toss-ups this time around. Big movement here. Republicans 49, Democrats 48, with 3 toss-ups, all moving in the direction of Democrats.
And I will say too, because we've talked about whether to add states. Just 2 things I'll flag: the beef issue in Montana is real. I am very curious to see if that state, if money is going to go in there. And our friend Darlene Graham, I think 2 polls out this morning, she is tied in the general election.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple others, the Nebraska race, the Kansas race. I think we'll end up pulling out. But again, you do not want the map expanding in this direction. For everybody who felt bad because of that, go watch my show from last night. We went district by district. Republicans actually in the House, I made this point yesterday, when you push those toss-ups one way or another, Republicans get to 218. Dems are still short of it. So I actually think the irony is the House might be our firewall.
Amazing.
Let's look at the, we have Polymarket on the Senate, I believe. Which party controls the Senate?
Look at that.
Polymarket, by the way, tracks our Huddle Meter. Look at that. People are becoming slowly moving in that direction. So we're dead on where everyone else is too.